Don't fuck up. Don't fuck yourself. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm your host, John Hauser III, and with me is a chef, a DJ, a guitarist, a father, and a fucking really all-around cool guy. Welcome to the show, Jon Carroll of Carroll and Sons.
Hey, man. What's up?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
I'm super good.
We were just talking before I started recording, and I wanted to bring this up, and we were talking about we both love Fugazi, and you have a item on your menu called Fugazi, and I had to cut you off because I was like, no, let's talk about it. So if you can just go back and tell people.
We'll start with that.
Yeah, let's start with that because it's a really fucking cool idea.
Yeah, so it was kind of like when we were kids, like Fugazi was awesome. Like Fugazi was my most favorite band to see. Along other bands, like I saw Fishbone all the time, and they were mainly the two, I guess. But like we opened the restaurant. We had no idea what we were doing. Like as far as like. Now I could be like, oh, here's our concept for the restaurant. You know, like at the time, it was just kind of like my food, which is just kind of whatever. And had this like list of sides. And then one day as a joke, I put Fugazi $5 on the list of sides. And everybody would be like, what's Fugazi? Like to everybody. And they were like, oh, that's just like a joke the owner did. Fugazi used to be a band and they used to play. It was $5. And then John Zarovitz, one of the owners of Union and founders of Union, I was talking to him and he was like, that's like funny, but like what could that be? And I was like, he's like, it's just a joke. Like, and I was like, yeah, it's just kind of like a joke on the menu, like Fugazi $5. And then I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, what if we made that a donation? So we've had it like mostly stuff that's like personal to me. Me and my wife had to have an abortion. Didn't have to, but chose to because our baby tested positive for trisomy 13, which is never ends well. And then we switched it to for gun stuff, because my brother was murdered and also my cousin was murdered. So we kind of keep it family stuff. I'm sorry to be so macabre about it.
No. They're important. They're important places that need to be funded. Like right now, it's the Baltimore Abortion Fund, right?
No, well, now we switched it. It was the Baltimore Abortion Fund, and then it was for. I was waiting for my sister to decide, so we were calculating the money, and then she was going to decide on a gun control situation as her husband was murdered.
Oh, okay.
But now we have it where it's all, and we're matching all donations until the end of the year for the Hamden Fire.
Fucking awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. No, like, and I wanted to bring that up first because I want people to get the sort of idea of the kind of restaurateur you are. Like, it's nice. It's nice when people do nice things, and Yeah,
and that's kind of. It's guests that will do the nice things, and what's great about it is like people will be like. I feel people that like get like it like Fugazi and then understand the whole conceptual thing. It's like a really like uplifting thing for all of us. Because we're like, oh, I understand what that is. I love that. Great idea. And I want to donate to that. So then it all ends up being a positive.
What drives me crazy is I never did get to see Fugazi before they went on hiatus.
Oh, yeah. They were rather good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they were
exceptional. Little good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've never seen Paul Simon, and he's like top 5, so.
Yeah, it was because of Fugazi that, like, if there's someone coming through town that I'm like, I've never seen them, but I want to, I will try to go out of my way to, like, I got to go see Paul McCartney. I've seen Paul McCartney now twice, but it's
Oh,
like
cool. I thought
how many
Camden
fucking
Yard show.
how many? What's that?
The Camden Yard show.
Oh yeah, I went there, and then when I turned 40, my wife got me tickets to go see him in where was it? I think Philly. So we went to Philly and saw him.
Oh,
But it was like
nice.
it's like you're never that might never happen again. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't know when people are gonna like stop playing. Like The Cure is probably my favorite band.
Oh yeah.
That's still and every time they come through, I go and see them. Like one year, uh, we went up. Me and some buddies went up to Madison Square Garden and saw them on like a Saturday, and then saw them at Merriweather on a Tuesday. I was like, hell yeah, let's just fucking pack it in. So, yeah, speaking of menus, the menu I'm looking at that's online right now is fucking awesome.
It's,
Like I love how the menus sort of just oh shit, I lost it. I loved all the stuff on it. Like the can I ask you a question real quick?
yeah, is
The
that the like format like nice looking one where it's not like a type thing?
It's the black and white one.
With like George Clinton on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the one, and Alex Hagen did that.
But
Um,
I like your menu seems like it's fucking chill as shit. Like this is how I like to eat. You know what I mean? Like there's no like everything just looks good instead of like trying to format everything to be like a con you know what I'm saying? Like some people are like, no, it has to be modern American or all that horse shit and stuff. Like yours just it looks like you just put stuff on it that you like eating and it sounds delicious. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean it's like a thing. Like it's always been. I wanted the restaurant to open a little differently. Not that I want to do like super chef stuff, but I don't know. I like dinner plates, I guess, for myself. But then the more I go on, I think about when I go out, I don't want to eat dinner plates.
Right.
Like
No, me
I'm a big
yeah,
appetite. I want to try all the appetizers.
exactly.
We started and we had stuff that was like meatloaf, and then it was just because we opened out of Rich and Randy let us use the Snake Hill food truck.
Okay.
So we were outside in that. Like the whole thing was crazy. It was kind of like, can you guys do it? And I was like, we were trying to source money and didn't open with much money. I lied about how much money I had. I was like, oh no, we're ready to go. And so, so he like, oh, I was like, oh no, we got it. Yeah, I was like, no, I've raised $100,000. I was like, everything's ruling. I was like, no, we got everything set up. It's great. And so we opened in the Snake Hill food truck, and then around like we were out there for like the Bridge Thanksgiving show. So definitely around that time. Around December 10th, we came inside and we're cooking everything on whatever we could. And then we finally got like more equipment installed and whatnot.
And that was at the food truck or at the place you're at now?
Inside, like, yeah, because
Okay.
well, the pizza place before us had the wood oven.
And describe the pizza your brick and mortar place.
Oh, my brick and mortar place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like mostly we sell cheeseburgers, nachos, wings, like mostly bar food.
But it's inside Union,
Inside
right?
Union Brewing, yeah. So we've been there for
Right.
2 years now.
Oh wow, cool. Congrats.
Yeah, and this is or in the first of the year will be our second year anniversary. We're looking for a new spot, so
Oh really?
yeah, and no hard blood or anything like that. Union just wants to switch up, the food
Gotcha.
every now and again. So
Yeah.
Well Crafted was there, we were there, and it's nice to use it as a it was great promotion, and I've
like a
worked at
launch pad.
Union forever now, so
Oh, that's cool.
it's been a
It
nice thing.
the on your menu, do you still have the Des?
Oh yeah, so the cheeseburgers are named after my son. So there's the baby Des, which is like our kids' cheeseburger.
Okay.
The double Des, which is like kind of the one we sell. That's what we sell the most of. So that's our double smash patty cheeseburger, American cheese, the burger sauce, which is made of equal parts ketchup and mayonnaise, and then there's a quart equal parts of capers, pickled red onions, and pickled cucumbers all get pulsed and mixed together.
Wow. That
So
sounds good.
that's
I
the
was
burger sauce. And then
I
it's
was
sliced
oh
red
good.
onion, and then shreddis, which is shredded lettuce,
Hmm.
and a Martin's potato roll.
Nice. I was thinking because of the music theme throughout your menu that it was going to be like a Desmond Decker thing.
No, my son's named after Desmond Decker,
Oh, well there you go. Then yeah.
his middle name is Fife. After
From Fife Dog?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's the
awesome.
greatest argument that a man has ever won against a woman in the history of the world. Because if we didn't know what the baby was going to be, and if it was a girl, it was going to be, we were going to name her Louisa Marie. Because my sister's and my grandmother's middle name is Marie, and then Louisa because we wanted to call her Lulu.
Oh, okay, that's
So
cute.
her name would have been Lulu Marie Carroll. The boy, we were like looking at it for a while, and I was like talking. I was like, "What about Peter Tosh Carroll, Bob Marley Carroll?" I was like, "Desmond Decker Carroll," and she's like, "Oh, Desmond sounds good. I love that name." And I was like, because it was also
Yeah.
that cool character on Lost. That
Oh,
was in
I
love with
yeah.
Penny. Did you watch Lost?
I didn't, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, Lost was jamming, and he was my favorite character on Lost. So it was like, I was like, and then she was like, yes, Desmond. I was like, and then Fife had just died. He was like part of that year where all the musicians died, like David
Yeah.
Bowie and everybody. And I was like, well, what about, because it was funny the morning that happened. I woke up and there was all these text messages, and all my friends were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what is everybody so sorry about? And they're like, well, Fife died. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like in the spare bedroom, like crying. And she
Yeah.
comes in and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, Fife Dog died. And she's like, who the fuck is Fife Dog?
Oh no. I got to meet them when I was a younger man. They I was the photographer for my college newspaper, and they came and did one of our homecoming concerts. So I got to shoot their huh?
At you?
No, Frostburg.
Oh, okay.
And I got to shoot their concert, and I got to meet them before they went on stage.
Oh, that rules. Yeah, they were at UMBC at one of those like quad fests, which is great. Another
I saw
crazy one of those UMBCs. You know Chris Donahue?
I know the name,
Chris
but I don't know him.
Donahue was in the Financial Group and Il Culo, or he was also in like the Baltimore Afrobeat Society.
Mm.
That did all the Fela Kuti shows at the H&H warehouse building. And Matt Dickinson, who's also part of that whole thing, and my friend, Matt Dickinson wrote for the papers at UMBC and told Funkadelic when they played there that they had a contest that somebody could come up on stage and play with Funkadelic for a little bit if they learned all the songs. And my friend Chris went up and like played for like 13 minutes or something
I might have been at that show.
at like
I
Quad Fest.
I was with a band who I was kind of like roadieing for, and sometimes playing with a little bit, but mainly roadieing for him. We played a show down in St. Mary's College, and on the way back up, we had heard through them that there was a show at UMBC, and it was going to be P Funk. So we, on our way back up to Frostburg, we just stopped there and caught them for free. This was 1997.
Yeah, that's totally the show.
I think something like that. Yeah, is that the show? Okay, yeah. I was there.
He
Yeah. That's
he went
awesome.
out there and played with them.
I just remember there was a lot of George Clinton coming out singing a little bit, and then him being like, here's my son, here's my nephew, here's my niece, and then
Yeah,
they would
that's
just
what
sing
it
songs.
turned up into being. It was. I saw them recently at the Lyric, and it was more of that. Like, but at the same time, they all got bills. Let them do their thing.
Oh yeah, he's trying to break them. Like, of course.
It's a shame to call that Parliament Funkadelic, where there's
Yeah. When next time you and I are together, ask me about my George Clinton story. I can't put it on. I met George Clinton once, and I can't put it on audio.
Yeah. I've heard.
He was a very cool dude.
I've heard all of those stories. He do that.
No, he was just a wild dude. Like, we just basically, I mean, I could tell. I don't give a shit. We were art students, right? And we went down from Frostburg, went down to DC to drop acid and do all the art galleries. And we dropped the acid, and we were waiting for it to start to kick in. We were outside the Museum of American Art, and there was a guy walking across the street, and I was like, that looks like George Clinton. And I went, oh shit. And then I yelled George Clinton, and fucking George Clinton went, oh hey, and walked across the street and talked to us for like 20 minutes. And we're like, yeah, we just dropped acid. We're going to go inside, and this is going to be awesome. He's like, I've never gone inside one of those things on acid. That sounds fucking awesome. We're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I've been up all night getting fucked up. I'm going back to sleep. I'll see you motherfuckers later. And we're like, bye, George Clinton. It was the weirdest shit ever. Like, it was just completely random. It was like 1995 or 6 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was wild as hell.
Yeah. Just George Clinton at 8:30 in the morning, walking home from a party or something. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
really fun.
Still cool. Like, I don't know he doesn't. I feel like he hasn't done anything except for kind of hype the band since.
Yeah.
The whole time I've seen them. I saw them so many times in like the late 90s, day before senior year of high school. I saw them at Pier 6. Everybody was
cool.
there except for Eddie Hazel because he was dead. And they played for like 6 hours, and it was crazy.
Jesus Christ.
But once Gary Scheider died, it was that was the end of it. They need their star child.
Yes. There's a thing, just to put a point on this is, what's his guy? His name is the guy that started Beavis and Butthead, Mike Judge. He does a show, or at least used to do a show on Showtime called Tales from the Tour Bus. And the first season was all about country music. And the second season was all about soul and funk. And they did a 2-part episode on P-Funk. And the stories are fucking nuts. And it's all animated. And it's cool shit if you can get your hands on it. It's funny shit to watch. You could probably look it up on YouTube. So.
We just got Amazon delivery.
Nice.
Togarashi seasoning.
Oh, delicious. How'd you get your start in cooking? Like, what were you doing?
So this is like, I don't know, like as far as like a story is I guess I got started serving. I worked at the Sidebar Tavern doing sound, and then I got a job at the Baltimore Comedy Factory doing door to like fill in some extra nights. And then one night a server had to leave, so I was like, hey, I'll pick up those tables. If I don't know, like, what do? I go over and ask them what they want, and then go to the bar and tell them what they need, and then I take it back to them. That seems cool. So I did that, and then the girl I was living with, we broke up, so I had to move out, and then I had to get like another job, and I got a job at Gertrude's restaurant,
Oh, okay.
and I ended up being there for like 10 years. And John Shields is one of my best friends. I ended up being catering manager. I did beer, like cooked for beer dinners there. I worked a lot, I like different kitchen stations, bar manager, all
That's really
sorts of
cool.
different stuff there. And then it was because it was kind of like it was like one time I started working with Jesse too, out of Love and
Jesse
Regret.
Sandlin.
Jesse Sandlin,
Yeah. Friend of the show, Jesse Sandlin.
and then like all the other people out of Love and Regret. Ryan Sparks was there. We all worked together. So I did like a lot of stuff like in the interim. And then it was like just one day I was just like, I just want to do this like pop-up. So we did these ramen pop-ups, and it was like right when Clavel was opening, when Ekaben was just like opening, like there was a lot of surge.
Yeah.
And it was like just this like perfect storm where it was like kind of we got written up in the city paper about it, and Chris Jacobs was playing outside at Union, like a free show. Like, Chris Jacobs now is like
Yeah.
huge. And I'm trying to remember how long ago that was. That was maybe 10 years ago, almost now. So we did this like ramen pop up, and I didn't even understand what I was doing, but this like line went from the old brewery to like the light rail.
Holy shit.
It was crazy. So there was like that, and we might not have put out the best food, but there was like, I don't know, just figuring all that stuff out. And then I worked at Wet City for a little while, and
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I sold burritos during COVID. Like, so I've always just like, I kind of fell in love with it, like mostly working with Jesse Sandlin, and I would read her books because we weren't ever busy. And it was like Thomas Keller, Under Pressure, the
Oh yeah.
Momofuku Cookbook,
His sous vide book,
Fergus
yeah.
Henderson, or what's Fergus Henderson? That's his name.
Fergus, yeah, nose to tail book.
Yeah. So I was like
Yeah.
reading them books while I was working with her, and it was I don't know. Then all of a sudden, I was just like, "Fuck it, let's just do this."
Yeah, there's a lot to be gained from those books too. Like,
Yeah, they're all. I
like
mean, those are classic cookbooks. Now that
yeah.
I'm so well versed in the cookbook,
That moment, it's funny because me and one of the people I do the podcast with during the summer, we've been just going through our favorite cookbooks, and one that we share that we've heavily have cooked from over the years is that Momofuku cookbook. Like, it's so fucking good.
well, it's a really good chef book where you can read the stories, and I mean, he's like a fucking rich kid, like, so it's like, oh, your father gave you $1 million to,
Oh yeah.
but at the same time, Dave Chang worked really hard. Dave Chang has really good taste, and
Yeah, and knew how to get promoted.
yeah, and they just right place, right time. And as far as cookbooks, that's like the best book. It's like a best book where like it's written so well, and all the stories are exciting, and then it's like stuff you can like actually make. I always
Yeah,
judge how good the cookbooks are when I open them up, and like how many of them are like torn or like have like food on them
right.
in different
Even
spots.
even the complicated recipes are written in a way that you're like, oh, I could do this.
Oh yeah,
You
oh,
know,
it's the best. I like that.
I make.
The Sean Brock books a lot.
Oh yeah. Totally.
As far as like where it's like stuff you can make. The Dave Chang book, and that's an old cookbook where it's like kind of where the format of it is dated now.
Oh yeah,
But even
totally.
still looking through it, it's like super
You know,
solid, and everything about it's really good. They did. It
fun.
sucks that like that all that fell apart. The Lucky Peach.
Yeah, Peter Meehan and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because all of it's really good. All those Lucky Peach cookbooks are like they all come where they're like 15, $20.
Yeah, those
They're
were fun
enjoyable to look
magazines.
at. There's like
Yeah.
recipes you'll make, and they're great. And
Fun fact about that book, Lee Ronaldo from Sonic Youth is in there.
oh yeah. On the
Here's that picture of him and his wife at the
oh yeah,
counter and shit.
saw that.
Yeah, that's so funny. I remember going through it and I was like, what the fuck is Lee Ronaldo doing in here? I was
I
like,
mean,
well, it's
that's
New
what's
York.
crazy about it is like I don't know. Union, we get like Justin Tucker, who
Yeah, that's
rules, you know,
awesome.
and it is awesome.
No, yeah,
And
he's a
then
nice
like
dude.
when I worked at the Baltimore Museum of Art, like I waited on Bill Nye the Science Guy,
That's fun.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, wow.
Like sometimes like Hopkins would have these like speakers, like Kareem
Yeah.
Abdul-Jabbar was one of them, symposium people. And
Mm-hmm.
then there was also jazz shows there. So I waited on like some jazz people. But at the end of the day, the most notable jazz person is when I worked there every Friday, Gary Thomas would play, was the director of Peabody.
Oh, okay.
And he was he was played with Miles Davis, like everybody. He's like
Oh, that's awesome.
Jack DeJohnette, he toured with. He had this story. He was like, yeah, I'm on this plane, and it's like Miles and Wayne and all these other people, you know, and then all of a sudden I trip in the middle of the aisle. And he's like a big, like, workout dude, like
Mm-hmm.
strong dude. And he like tripped in, like tripped in the aisle. And he was like, and he's talking about Wayne Shorter. And he's like, ever since then, Wayne Shorter always told me, he's like, yeah, Gary, that tripped in the aisle. I see you.
Yeah, motherfuckers won't let shit go after, something happens.
Yeah, but he would
Um,
candidly have these stories about, you know, the greatest players ever.
yeah, that kind of shit is crazy. Like, just the legacy and the history of that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, Miles in of itself is just amazing.
Yeah, well, that's a Baltimore thing too, as far as this town. Like it's like a melting or a nice place where there's Micah plus the great art museums and then
Mm-hmm.
Peabody. So we're like a kind of like cultural hub where people that are here had stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the woman that played brunch at Gertrude's every Sunday sat in and played with Miles Davis and John Coltrane and
That's
had these stories of all that sort of stuff. And it
incredible.
was just like, are you like kidding me? Like,
Yeah. What do you mean you played with? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that shit. Like, it's hard to put it in context, but those were just regular dudes that just fucking like playing music. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
there's so many people I grew up with that were in bands or know this person or that person. They're just people that like playing music,
Yeah. Or
Same thing.
like, I don't know, like I put in perspective, like the people that work at the auto bar, they do stuff at Union every now and again. And when they come in, they're like just like super pro.
Yeah.
Like how like pro of a venue the auto bar is.
Oh
And these
yeah.
people that play music at that level, like at that time, she would just sit in with people. And she was so good, she just sat in with Miles Davis
Yeah, I
because she was playing next door and he heard her and needed a keyboard player.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like bananas. And then she played at Gertrude's every Sunday for 20 years
Oh, that's awesome.
and passed that like she was like 97. We had her celebration like last year. Dottie was her name. It was bananas. It was awesome.
Super cool. Tone shift real quick. We the reason that you're here, and I mean I've been wanting to get you on the show for a while, but this gave us a chance to talk about it. Is so a couple blocks from me is the Baltimore Creative Alliance, who I've worked with a couple times, and I've done a couple cooking classes. Well, one cooking class, and then they're doing a Scrapple festival
Yeah, we're doing
on
that. Why are you always messing with my stuff? Sorry, cats.
Cat. Yeah, that cat's all over the place. It's great. It's November 9th. It's in 2 weeks, 2024,
Yeah.
from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Baltimore Creative Alliance at 3134 Eastern Avenue, creativealliance.org. And it seems to be a pretty interesting time. They're going to be having, well, they're going to have a bar that you can buy drinks and get some fun drinks. They're having a screening of a movie called Scrapple Road.
Yeah,
where you
that's
learn about
what it's kind of like built around.
Yeah, so it's like learn about Scrapple's history and its place in American cuisine.
Yeah, some
with the
dude made a movie about Scrapple.
Yeah, his name's Kurt Kolaja, and it's going to be introduced by him and John Shields, which is cool.
Yeah, that's how I got hooked up with it, is because John Shields told them about that I should do the thing.
Yeah,
So
and you're going to be making
power outlet for my computer seems to be dying.
And you're going to be doing breakfast for dinner, yeah?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's breakfast for dinner. Joy, who is appropriately named from the Creative Alliance, we set up this thing. So we're going to try to do a church hall breakfast for dinner. So it's going to be scrapple, bacon, sausage gravy, and biscuits. And then hash browns, I think. And there might be one
okay.
like a little like fruit thing.
Cool.
No, it's gonna be cool. Like
no crazy ass like scrapple, I don't know, fucking sundaes or milkshakes.
Well, there's no, we're gonna have scrapple.
That sounds
too.
disgusting. Scrapple milkshakes are fucking disgusting.
We can't like cook on site, so I have to bring it all down. So it's kind of tailored around to like what will stay crispy and that sort of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, that's got to be frustrating. Well, they got to.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel all that stuff makes it easier the next time.
They're not letting you use the kitchen across the street?
I might ask about that. I don't know. Then it involves me bringing like more people.
Yeah, and then you got to clean up and shit.
Pay more people and then clean more stuff up. So
it's a really nice kitchen. It's a teaching kitchen. Yeah, I was like, are you like a big fan of Scrapple?
I like Scrapple. I'm not a big fan of like breakfast.
Really? I don't eat breakfast, but I'm a fan of breakfast foods.
Yeah, there's been times in my life where I've gone through it. Like, I don't know. I definitely like. I love waffle. I love eggs Benedict. I think if I could eat eggs Benedict any time of day, all day. Like probably eggs Benedict's like in my top 5 favorite foods of all time.
Is it the hollandaise?
It's the whole. I mean, working at Gertrude's, John Shields makes the hollandaise every brunch.
Right.
Like he doesn't make many things.
He himself makes it
because John Shields is the master.
Sure.
And there's other also just incredible cooks there, and they've worked there forever. So he doesn't have to mess with that. But every single hollandaise, when you go there, he's the person that makes it, unless he's not.
That's fucking cool. That's really cool.
And it's
like that's his peaceful like place, the thing that he likes to make.
Oh yeah, we came up with all these like different songs about it, like Happy Hollandaise or like Madonna, like Hollandaise. So we'd always like laugh about it, and then I would always like a funny thing I always just like to say to people is like walk past them and be like, still got it, because we're like all old, and he's like still making the hollandaise, but it's always like perfect. He's like the best chef.
For those of you not in Baltimore or familiar with John Shields, he's like a legendary chef in Baltimore. Like he's been around for fucking like 40 years. He's had some TV shows. He's a very big ambassador of Baltimore foods and cooking and Chesapeake, ingredients and mid-Atlantic cooking. He's a great ambassador for our area and an amazing chef. Like he's had some pretty awesome places, and he has one of the best restaurants in Baltimore at Gertrude's.
And
So
he's been open there for over 20 years now,
yeah, it's been a long time.
which
Uh,
is a super long run.
yeah, I mean, crazy. Like that amount of time is nuts to stay in business in a restaurant. So yeah, well, that's fucking super cool. I mean, I I love Scrapple. I only get it a couple times a year. You know, last time I got it, I tried to make like what do you call it? Like a Scotch egg with Scrapple.
Scrapple.
Yeah, like a Scrapple Scotch egg. It was fucking awesome. Like a Scotch egg, anything is really good.
Oh yeah, but that
But
sounds insane. We just did a Scrapple grilled cheese because
okay.
Luke Martin, the Suburban Avenger, had his art show at Union. He does super concert posters and
Oh,
all this
okay.
amazing stuff. And he just released a book about of his like 10 years of work. And he's from the Eastern Shore. So we did the Scrapple grilled cheese.
That sounds really good.
You liked it, yeah. We did that, and then I mean, you got. Do you know who I'm talking about, Luke?
No, I don't.
You got a Suburban Avenger. Definitely check that out. It's like stunning. I don't know. He's like
Mhm.
does posters for Metallica, Death Cab for Cutie, The Grateful Dead, every band.
Yeah, let me see. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so I gotcha. Oh, there's some cool Metallica posters.
Yeah, the
I've got a
Metallica
few.
stuff's like pretty new.
Yeah, I've got a few of them in this house. A couple Metallica posters.
Oh yeah,
Not of his.
but just
Oh, I see. He's got the Okay, he's got the Death Cab for Cutie one. Yeah, that when they just came through town,
yeah.
basically. Oh
He's
yeah. Wow.
yeah, he's
His art's awesome.
That's incredible. He's such a nice guy, and
That's cool.
he worked so hard at this like release of all the stuff. He was like riding his bike all around Hamden, putting up like posters everywhere. Hung all the stuff himself, like with his twin sister. It was like,
That's cool.
I mean, I get it. Like he's still young. I can't like work. I work hard like sitting down. Like he was like killing it, like working so hard, and it was a really great night of bands playing and all of people celebrating his art and buying his art and
Yeah, I recognize some of these. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, those are awesome. Yeah, check that guy out, everybody. Um, yeah. So let me see. Where we? Oh, Scrapple. Uh, yeah. Is there anything that you've ever done with it that like is pretty weird, or are you just a slab man? Just slab it up, fry it up.
I think like most people are slab man. I don't know, we've always like I've done like the Scrapple kind of like musobi before,
Oh, okay.
like the Hawaiian thing, which was
Hmm.
cool. Like somebody asked me if Woodbury Kitchen was still open at the restaurant. So I looked it up. We looked it up while we were talking about it because I was like, I think so, yeah. And I was like, because now they're more event focused, but they
Right.
have that on the menu right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like a Scrapple Musubi, which kind of like makes like perfect sense.
Yeah. Rice and scrapple and,
Yeah, it sounds
like a
awesome.
nice
Like
little oyster sauce.
fatty
Yeah.
thing, and instead of spam.
Yeah. I mean, they probably both have the same amount of salt and fat in them, so why not?
Yeah, they say Scrapple is the part of the pig that you don't eat, and I call that a
It's
paradox.
it's the oink that got away.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's see. Oh, I got one more question for you because we're gonna get out of here soon. Okay, tomorrow you're gonna die. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
My
But
be very upset.
yeah, don't tell anybody. But before it happens, what do you want your death row like? What is your last meal? It can be as complicated or as simple. It can include drinks or not. It can include dessert or not. What would you have as the last meal that you eat before you go into that great gig in the sky?
The last meal.
Yep.
Oh, man, probably just like a cookout with my friends.
There you go. Okay.
Years ago, we did these awesome cookouts when the Ravens Ravens Sundays, and we would show the screen on like my friend's back deck. He would have the screen all set up, and we'd do like set up a fryer and do like onion rings and like oysters and stuff like that. It's just like a potluck celebration.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, right.
So just whatever your friends show up with, you're like, all right,
yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that was
nice.
a good time. And then we ended up like she had this beer batter, so we ended up or other batter, and we ended up frying oysters too. It was great, like that kind of thing where everybody communally brings something and we party down.
Just a big celebration. That's nice. You're the first person to ever come up with something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Most people unsurprisingly say, "Oh, there was a thing my mother cooked, or there was this thing my grandmother cooked." It's never anything fancy. There's been a couple people, but most of it's like home style, or
where you see your like self dying over the years, so you want something to. Yeah, no. There was a lot of things my grandmother made that we ate together that was really weird in Dundalk. Like Brunschwager sandwiches, I loved when I was a kid. Brussels sprouts,
oh hell yeah,
like make a certain way, and I loved it. She did this like pressure cooker pork and kraut, and I loved that. Macaroni and cheese, like the Kraft, and then like just like a burger, like with too much black pepper on it. I loved it. But no, at the end of the day, like when just people bring stuff, and that's heaven to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, all right, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you want to promote your restaurant?
Yeah, my well, one, we have the Scrapple thing coming up the 9th at the Creative, or no, what day?
It's the 9th.
Oh, it is the 9th.
November 9th.
There's so much going on. The 9th at the Creative Alliance. My restaurant's Carroll and Son Fine Foods at Union Craft Brewing. And and then also go to all the restaurants because Baltimore rules.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, John. I really appreciate it.
Cool, man. I really appreciate you. Let's hang.
Thanks. Absolutely. Hell yeah. And thank you, everyone, for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I really appreciate it. If you can do it for me, word of mouth is how we get out there. We don't pay for advertising. So word of mouth is really important to us. So tell your friend, tell your dog, tell your next door neighbor, tell the pumpkin outside your door. Join our Facebook group. John's part of it. Everybody is really cool there. It's the only place on Facebook that's actually worth going to. People are really helpful and funny, and they, people ask legitimate questions and get legitimate answers. No one's an asshole. And if they are bounced immediately. So, for the Rude Cooking School podcast, my name's John Hauser III, and you are?
Jon Carroll, the first.
There you go. See you, everybody. I'll talk to you next week. Peace.
All right. Thanks, man.